Alright, so in today's video, I got the Platinum Trophy on Bluey, the video game. This has been suggested a lot over my time platinuming games on YouTube, and that's because it is one of the hardest Platinum Trophies to ever exist. Much like the Peppa Pig game and the Paw Patrol game, it's near impossible. The studio that makes these is called Outright Games, and they even testified in court recently as to how challenging their games are. Because it's simply a crime on humanity, let alone children. Also, this game cost me $27, but at least it was on sale from the original devastating price tag of $40. Tariffs really be hitting Bluey too, man. This is insane. Also, 4 of my friends had this on PlayStation. Good job, soldiers. We will talk about you in Valhalla. But Bluey has a total of 28 trophies, including the Platinum. It takes, on average, 900 hours to finish, 50 playthroughs for collectibles, and that obviously gives it a 10 out of 10 difficulty rating. So without further ado, stage 1 of the Platinum is to enjoy the holiday, which is alluding to this game's plot having us on a quote-unquote holiday with the Bluey family. But little did we know this was really more a nightmare with how hard this game's Platinum is to complete. The game first begins with a cutscene initially diving us into the plot that is Bluey the video game. The kids wake up the parents from bed, which is understandable. It's the middle of the day, and anyone sleeping in this long might as well be sleeping forever.
Hey, yo!
But they are excited because school is out, or the textile factory they work in is on break due to economic reasons at the current moment in time. And this means it's practically Christmas for a kid, and we can almost feel the excitement radiating off of them as if a nuclear bomb got dropped again. But then you take Rain as whatever character you chose to suffer with today. I chose to be the father because I like old men. But you begin playing with control in our hands finally, and not the puppet gods above. And this is the first instance of really hard gameplay because you actually cannot play this game unless you're completely inverted upside down, hanging from a branch of sorts. Now it doesn't have to be a tree branch, but I actually did fly in a tree to my setup room for this to be possible, and in turn I sat AFK for a while to set this up. But once I was in position, we then began the grind. And the game had us walk over to the first boss of the story, that being the lion from Narnia. And that slick son of a gun was cosplaying as a stuffed animal. Now I don't know about you, but I'll stuff that animal. Okay, that's crazy. Bro, who wrote this? But due to my insane reflexes, I captured him instantly and won the fight. We then traveled downstairs to fight the next boss, which was an overweight penguin, or Amy Schumer. And due to her being so gosh darn unfunny, the family decided, yup, we are gonna sacrifice her like a lamb to the slaughter. I then picked her up and sent her to the Shadow Realm to reside in agony with screams of wombats 24/7 in her ears. The only just punishment for what she has brought onto this world. 200 hours of gameplay later, the family finally ended up running into the next boss fight, which was against this stuffed monkey. And I'm not gonna lie, bro was just chill like that, so we left him be. Game recognizes game. However, the next fight was against none other than the giant Garopolis spider from Guantanamo Bay. Bay of pigs, they used to say. But before I fought it, I actually hit up your sister on the gram. Speaking of pigs, also go follow me. I survived the spider boss fight after about an hour of retries over and over and over, and then we instantaneously got thrown into a battle against a dolphin. Now, when I was 12, I got molested by a dolphin because they are the horned dogs of the sea, absolutely zero restraint in their souls. Someone had a father missing in their childhood, that's for sure. But once I clutched my butt cheeks together and got over my past PTSD, I won. And that was the last boss fight of the game, getting me the trophy from beating all of the bosses. And it only took about 340 hours to finish. So that was the high action part of this game, which was a lot of fun and a huge grind. Now the following parts are more story orientated and not so combat heavy because I'm already sweating and dripping in exhaustion. But the first story moment had us bouncing a balloon up and down over and over, training that thing. And our own reflexes for the future war of blue versus purple people that father is enrolled into. Shout out to the giraffe for ripping families apart like ours. It also ended up taking us outside for the first time, and the kids got to see sunlight after so many years in the mines. But don't worry, they yearn for it. Like I yearn to touch this big red ball with everything my life has to offer. But I bounced it too hard and too far, and ended up flying all the way back into the house. So we then had to chase after it because we cannot let the balloon escape. It's sacred in blue people culture all around the world. But on the way to its last seen location, I got distracted and slid down the railings of this house. Am I autistic? No, but I am retarded. This balloon also traveled a shocking distance and made it all the way to the kids' room and landed on a box that was placed so expertly atop other boxes. I couldn't have done that even if I was a box. That makes no sense. Again, who was writing this? Phil, you motherfucker. But regardless, getting this balloon back from the box's clutches was no easy task, and I began to bawl my eyes out because I skipped geometry class in high school and forgot the difference between a triangle and a square. So down bad I thought it was a rectangle. But I ended up figuring out I would have to move this stroller across the room to reach it because walking around that thing does not work in the two-dimensional world we exist in. Also, I found out my son is a psychopath. I don't like the way you're looking into my soul right now, boy, as if he wants to eat it. Also, I did just get word from HR. That is in fact my daughter and not my son. I get them confused. Sorry, I'm blind. But our daughter is also a bit retarded and ran into the boxes head on. Just listen to that thud. Sounds like last night. Anyways, that freed the balloon and also a treasure map, which is key to this game's plot. And once I got the map in my hands, I felt a shiver and a orgasmic touch roll down my entire body. This is it. This is the map to the divine holy treasure our gods left here for us. And I now welcome you to the goal of Bluey, the video game. We must find all of the pieces of the treasure map and in turn find the treasure at the end of the map. You know, where X marks the spot. But with that done, I got another trophy and finished episode 1 of this story, 500 hours later. Now before beginning the hunt for more treasure map locations, I instead bounced this balloon 25 times in the air to perfect my reflexes, senses, and awareness of the world. Getting a trophy once 25 bounces were bounced, and I am so locked in right now. I then began the first of 50 collectible playthroughs needed. Every time a level ends in this game, you have to grab every single collectible in it within 10 minutes, and there's about 450. So you have to know the exact location of each item, the time to grab, exit the menu, and if you don't execute it perfectly, you will fail and have to restart. It's normal to not get this in your first 20 tries, and it took me about 37 because I am the GOAT, so the average 50 was clearly not needed. But on the way down this path, I did take a break on about playthrough 15, and I just jumped up and down on this trampoline, which gave me another trophy. At least the developers are rewarding us even in this prison for child endangerment. I then got back to the collectible playthroughs, and it was quite difficult, however I did complete it. No trophies were given though because it's a collective grind of the entire game and not just one level's area. So I moved on to the next episode, which was in a playground. Now normally I'm not allowed within 300 feet of one due to the usual occupants of a playground, but they made an exception today because it's nice out. However, this episode really went down the peaceful route as there was no action at all. We just sat around and talked for 40 hours with all the characters. I even dressed up as a grilled cheese enthusiast, and you might not be able to tell, but this guy right here, he loves grilled cheese. But the first trophy I got on this episode was from finding a lost child. Now do not show this to my parole officer because I'm not allowed to talk to lost children, but it gave me a trophy regardless. A cutscene then played showing us this green bridge, and I think the developers just wanted to give me another story trophy, so they did. We also obtained more treasure map pieces from that 56-hour story episode, which was awesome. I then returned back home to cry because the bills are overdue and I have no more money. But to distract me from reality, I just played Floor's Lava by myself, and I did it 5 times to get this trophy right here. How amazing. A man has to have his hobbies, okay? The next episode then began and it took place in our house again. But this one had a new character in it who has crazy good hair, and we kind of became his bitch because due to his amazing hair, he is God to us. You know, since the entire family is bald, we are just inferior. And I ended up having to retrieve his special rubber duck for him. I don't know why a grown man has a special rubber duck, but my cellmate was also into things like that. And I got a trophy once I acquired it. The hair man also had a piece of that treasure map in his butthole, so once he ripped it out, he gave it to the kids. Now that's just crazy. At least let me get first contact. And that then popped me another trophy after 45 hours of staring at the treasure map, that is. Grandpa then came over and gave me this special weapon that he got during the war times, which is a xylophone that can freeze people. Now the last time I had one of those, it's actually what sent me to prison. But I froze Grandpa and got a trophy. I was also supposed to unfreeze him right away, but I just walked away instead. I'll never forget what he did in 1965. Anyways, we ended up finishing that treasure map off and it led us to this dirty creek. Now don't tell anyone, but this is where the bodies are. But aside from that, the treasure was also hidden here and we dug it up only to find it had an action figure inside of it. The treasure I hid in my free time is much more interesting to say the least. But then a trophy popped anyways from the creek, and we ended up on the beach next to end off the holiday. I got a trophy here as well from winning this mini game for the first time with some AI robot that runs away as if he's on the beach of death and agony. I then played that game 5 more times to get another trophy, and it took 456 hours of retries due to my annoying ass family trying to win also. If I could kill them, I would. Dude, what? Phil! This is way too graphic, bro. This is a kid's game. Write something better, I'm gonna find somebody else. Anyways, we are now into the following stages of this game's grindy-ass platinum. Stages 2, 4, and 3. I just put them out of order because I wanted to, and I can. I am God on this channel. And the first trophy I got here was called Fancy Ladies from unlocking every costume in the game, meaning I can now find an outfit to hide from the law. I have a very high bond right now, please subscribe. I then got a trophy on the playground level from launching another character on the seesaw. However, nobody was there. Or was there someone there? The schizophrenia is real. I knew it all along. I then just watered a plant because nature must live on past us, even if we kill all of it like I did to those blue people a few weeks ago. Phil, Are you trying to tell me something, bro? What is happening right now? Anyways, I don't know what that's all about, but I just got a trophy after from scoring a goal 3 times. And I know it seems like there isn't any opponent, but trust me, there's like 4 people on my screen right now. This shit is insane. I then found the last collectible of the game for another trophy, which took 200 hours of retries, as I mentioned. And I also played as every character of the game for another after, called Family Matters. And I then spent another 40 hours watering plants to get these very luck-based RNG trophies from having all these stickers in the game. Now, I don't even know what a sticker is, but I've heard it's sticky, like other things. And once I got all of them, 2 trophies popped because of how hard they were to obtain. My final trophy was then from sliding down 3 slides at once. Now, this took me, again, hours to get because it's very hard to land these in a row. But after sliding so much, my butt rubbed off completely and I looked like a skeleton, or my girlfriend in high school. I got 3 in a row and the trophy then popped with the platinum also. So that was the Bluey the video game platinum trophy experience. Challenging is the only word I know how to describe what this platinum did to me. I haven't been the same since buying this game and I probably won't be ever again. But that is all. Subscribe for more torture and I'll see you all again with another extremely hard game that also makes you hard on the way. Alright, Phil, we are done, bro. What the hell is wrong with you?